Where do you think the Wolves finish in the West, and why? And we'll start with you, Chris. What do you think? Where do you think we finish in the West?
I'm just going to go with roster as is. I would say ninth.
Okay.
I'd say eighth. I'll say eighth because I think at the end of the year they're going to start playing Nas at the 4, and that'll push us up.
I like that. Let's go, Leroy. What do you think? Where do we finish in the West?
This was an interesting one for me. All right, so let me think about. All right, I got a couple things. I think Dallas is gonna go down a notch this year, so that opens up things a little bit. However, Golden State with Clay back, they're gonna win a few more games without a doubt. That's no questions asked there.
Top 4 probably.
Yeah, I can see them. I think last year they were near 40. They'll be closer to 45, 50 this year with Clay coming back if that timeline's right. So I think the Wolves will win. Pretty easily 35 games. This team's competitive. They can win any game that they play. They're that talented. I think that, it's going to come down to, can they get stops? And that's really going to be the theme of the years. Can they get stops when they need stops? I think offensively, we just have so many weapons. When you look at Noel, when you look at Naz Reid, when you look at Cat, D'Lo, Ant, McDaniels, these guys are, I think, you couldn't ask for more offensive firepower. We have so much on the offensive end. I think that carries us, but the question is, can D'Lo stay on the floor and get stops? Can McDaniels stay on the floor and get stops? He's, if we're going to play Cat and McDaniels next to each other, it's going to be tough. But then if you play Reed, you also have the perimeter issue, right? So I think it all comes down to defense for the Wolves this year. And, Cat said it just a couple of days ago, it's time to stop talking and walk it. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Donovan, what do you think? Where, in your mind, where do the Wolves finish in the West?
Probably somewhere around the 9 seed. They should be contending for a play-in game. They should end up somewhere around the 500 mark. I think Leroy nailed it. It's all going to come down to if they can get stops, and I am a little more optimistic about that this year when you add guys like Patrick Beverley, and you've already seen the impact he's had on this team, especially defensively. That's what it's all going to come down to.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Jared, what do you think?
So I'm going to be a little bit higher than you guys, but not by a ton. As the roster sits, I'm going to say 6 to 7 seed, so kind of in that same range. But you guys know me, and you guys know what I'm all about. So I'm all about that Ben Simmons possibility. And I think if we land something like that, I think that elevates this team to a 4 or 5 seed. So I do feel like this team is going to have a lot of success this year. Only a Timberwolves fan would talk about the preseason, and I'm a Timberwolves fan, so I'm going to talk about the preseason. But hey, we're 3-0 right now. In the preseason, D'Lo looks phenomenal right now in the preseason from the little bit of snippets that I've seen. I haven't watched a ton of preseason basketball. I don't get me wrong. I'm not lining up on a Wednesday night to watch the Timberwolves play a preseason game. But
kick them out.
Get
them off the podcast.
Get out of here.
It definitely is looking promising for the Timberwolves. I'm very excited with what I've seen, especially with D'Lo. D'Lo has looked unbelievable in the first 3 preseason games, in my opinion, from the little bit of that I've watched, and that's very promising because we have kind of talked about whose team this is going to be, and my answer was kind of whoever grabs the microphone at the end of at the press game conference, at the end of the press game, whoever grabs the microphone, that's whose team it's going to be. And to me, D'Lo kind of looks like he's about ready to make that leap to be like, hey, if this ain't going to be anybody else's team, I got that it factor, and it's going to be my team. And that's kind of like even through preseason, which is kind of crazy to talk about. a guy meaning so much in preseason, but D'Lo has looked absolutely incredible this preseason.
He has looked good. And I think when it comes down to D'Lo, it honestly just comes down to if he's hitting his shots. Like it really, like he does more. He's a crafty passer as well, but a lot of it comes down to just hitting his shots. For me, I got him in the 8-9 range. Just looking at the Western Conference, it's so tough. I mean, Utah, Phoenix, Denver, LA, both LAs. They're both going to be there. It could go either way with Dallas. I don't know, but Luka keeps doing his thing. Portland's always there. And then you get down to the play-in, right? So you got the Lakers, which they're going to move up, like for sure. They'll absolutely move up this year. They're not going to be back in the play-in unless there's injuries again. Memphis, Golden State. Now, I think Golden State goes up, particularly with Klay Thompson coming back. I think they move up. And I don't know. I see us 8-9 because I don't think the Spurs are going to do anything this year, particularly with DeRozan gone, Aldridge gone. I don't see them doing much. So yeah, I got 8-9 range, the play-in game.